So we already have a lot of Star Wars TV shows that are currently in development. We have, of course, Star Wars shows like the Kenobi series, the Star Wars Ahsoka series as well, that's going to star Rosario Dawson. We have a lot of other TV shows such as the Book of Boba Fett coming our way on December 29th. So much coming for 2022 and 23 that Disney and Lucasfilm are aiming to make those the two best years for Star Wars under Disney's wing. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, I am on Twitter at Mike01 if you guys want to go ahead and give me a follow on there. I do post a couple of entertaining things on there from time to time and interact with you guys further. So, the thing that really does intrigue the fans most about this new Star Wars universe is the fact that we have a lot of the fan favorite characters playing key roles in each and every Star Wars show in different ways. You know, for a great example, we have Ahsoka Tano coming back for The Mandalorian Season 3, and of course having her own show for the Ahsoka Tano Central Series. That's really going to be a big deal because it's going to tap into the world between worlds, it's going to tap into the characters of Ezra Bridger and Grand Admiral Thrawn, and a lot more to come as well, like Sabine Wren. But there's things that are happening beyond all of this. We already know that shows out there, such as the Acolyte TV series, is one particular show that a lot of fans seem to be very skeptical about and pretty much raising their arms over about this because of who's in charge. Kathleen Kennedy has a lot of creative power over that show. She's working very closely with Leslye Headland. There's been a lot of setbacks, a lot of firings of directors and writers. We're talking about co-writers, of course. And a lot of things that happened that really delayed the entire process. You guys may have heard also that Rangers of the New Republic is now cancelled, as we've been talking about this for a couple of months now. They planned on doing this by this November to December, and it just happened. So what they're doing with that show is that they're going to take a lot of elements and kind of throwing it into other TV shows, but they're also going to be recrafting Rangers of the New Republic into a brand new show, so keep your eyes open for next year at Celebration. So with that being said, with the Ahsoka Tano series already beginning development with Rosario Dawson now training for the role of Ahsoka Tano once again, both George, John, and Dave are actively working together to bring back Star Wars Legends highlights into the mandoverse that is truly going to take the fandom by surprise. However, it's said that behind the scenes, George Lucas has been very angry over a certain situation that recently came to light for a new Star Wars TV show that is moving further into development. Now, it's described that recently many creatives over at Lucasfilm pushed for Kathleen Kennedy to cut a major piece out of the Acolyte TV series that both Lucas and Kathleen Kennedy has agreed upon to use in the show. This major scene was set to involve the whills, who are godlike creatures and creations of George Lucas, that was needed to be told in the Acolyte TV show. Many of the creatives that look up to Kathleen Kennedy and Leslye Headland pressured them to get rid of the whills, as they saw that these characters were useless and not useful for the series and created a big risk of course, wrecking the entire show. Now, without Lucas's knowledge for the past number of weeks, the whills were slowly deleted from the Acolyte series that was going to regulate the show and add more value to the series. This is something that Lucas is very angry over, given that this show was going to set everything up for the whills to take place in other live-action projects as well. Now, the whills were going to be puppets originally, and that Lucas wanted to skip doing CGI. This later devolved into pure CGI on a strict budget that Lucas was already skeptical over, as he wanted to use practical effects for the gods that watch over the entire Star Wars universe. It was nothing but a downward spiral, of course, for the past number of weeks or so, and now Kathleen Kennedy has decided to get rid of the whills altogether in order to create more screen time for something that is going to be, of course, Leslye Headland's own version of the whills that will also be considered gods in a different sense than the Lucas creation. Now, many other creators over at Lucasfilm find this to be very unfair to Lucas. Both Jon Favreau and Deborah Chow, for example, even tried to convince Kennedy to not move forward with deleting these from the actual series in order to convince her to listen to George. This did not serve any purpose or change Kathleen Kennedy's mind at all. Thankfully, the whills are still set to appear in the Ahsoka Tano series with practical effects. However, now of course some rewrites have to take place for the Ahsoka show that involves the godlike characters. These rewrites will not delay the series in any way, shape, or form, but it is living proof that one project that goes under, of course, a lot of problems and goes sour and holds connection to other shows, it creates a negative domino effect. Now, additionally, Kathleen Kennedy also did this in order to lower the budget for the Acolyte series and save screen time for others. So, here's the thing about Kathleen Kennedy. Alright, we talked about this over and over. The fact that she always seems to keep her word and then breaks her word or breaks her promises. This really does remind me of what she did to George Lucas back in 2013 when she promised to actually respect the characters for the sequel trilogy movies. We're talking about the OT characters like Luke, Han, Leia, you name it, and how she was originally going to respect them. And we obviously saw a complete 180 on her promise. And that really kind of hurt George Lucas. I mean, when we saw everything that did happen with, of course, the sequel trilogy, it really let down a lot of fans. When Jon Favreau did what he did with Luke's return in The Mandalorian, it really made all the fans light up like a pinball machine. Everybody was excited, everybody was engaged, and ready for more. And that's the type of excitement that Star Wars fans need when it comes to either movies or TV shows. And I really do feel like Disney really broke that energy, or just decided to not even pay attention to that goal to create that type of energy from the fans. And now John, Dave, George, Deborah Chow, and others out there are really doing everything in their power to keeping that type of energy alive and well. And I respect that, I really do. As far as George Lucas, having these major problems with Kathleen Kennedy, of herself deleting the whills from the Acolyte TV series, this is the major reason as to why there's been a lot of delays for the show. In fact, that's one major reason why they're not even going to begin filming until spring of 2022. It's going to take quite a long time to do this, by the way. It's going to stretch all the way until November, which does fall directly in line with what we've been talking about, of how the Acolyte series is going to be 12 episodes. That's what they're planning to do, at least. They want to make it a very lengthy Star Wars TV show to see what they can experiment with and to really kind of meddle with the dark side of the Force and emerging dark side powers. Again, in case you guys did not know, the Acolyte TV show takes place during the High Republic era, toward the very end of that era, and how it kind of eventually ties directly into the prequel trilogy timeline. So, obviously, we already know that Leslye Headland is trying to do some retcons to the Phantom Menace, and that's something that I think a lot of fans are very, very worried about and on edge over the fact that Kathleen Kennedy is actually allowing this to happen, and how Lucasfilm creators are the ones that pushed Kennedy and Leslye Headland to delete some of George Lucas's vision for, of course, the Acolyte TV show. Again, the whills were set to regulate the show. There was going to be a very special element to that show using the godlike creatures. The fact that Leslye is now creating her own version of that, I don't know, it just seems as if that they like to backstab George Lucas on purpose. I don't know if it is on purpose, but it's coming off like that now at this point. Overall, guys, let me know what you think about all of this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again. No.